Hey guys, Matt Jones from Glasgow outside the Curlers Rest. I almost ducked in here yesterday before beginning the Glasgow leg of the 10 City Bridge Run, but pushed on and had a great run on a day that was beautiful blue sky. And today it's overcast, very foggy, a little bit damp, but still a very nice day, nice weather here in Glasgow. And I'm going to duck inside for that pint which I missed yesterday. But before I do, I thought I'd just mention a few things about the design forum that are coming up next year in 2015. And there's going to be a design forum in all the cities where I've run, threading a narrative for those cities. And at the outset, I want to focus on the first 5 of those cities, and that will be Osaka, Port Moresby, Glasgow, Toronto, and then Sydney. Only the first 5 for the time being. Simply because things will change. We'll gain more information, we'll learn things for the remaining cities, and while we'll have them scheduled and be looking at opportunities, the program of how they'll develop will evolve as we start the conversation. So in the beginning, the design forum will begin participating in Osaka Hack in Osaka on the 10th of February next year, and then after that we'll convene basically, I guess, a hot wash of the hackathon that was conducted in Osaka, and ask the question of how can we conduct a design forum, a hackathon. What knowledge is out there, and how do we communicate best, both online and in person, for these remaining design forums. The second one will be in Port Moresby, where we'll be focusing on the problem of child survival, child mortality, and what does that look like in Papua New Guinea. We hear a lot about the problem in parts of Africa and also in India, but places like Papua New Guinea also have significant issues with child survival, child mortality, and it's an area close to home for an Australian, so it's something we want to come to terms with. Thirdly, we'll come here to Glasgow and be drawing upon the underground city of Grahamston, which is underneath Central Station. Central Station was built on top of it, and we'll be using that as a metaphor to look at what is this conversation built on top of. So, having picked up the knowledge from Port Moresby and a framework from Osaka, we are asking the questions of what knowledge, what experience are we building this conversation on top of to address this question of improving child survival. Then going to Toronto, picking up a theme from the designer Cameron Sinclair, actually from the UK, who did a lot of his work in New York. Currently he's the executive director for the Jolly Pitt Foundation. A very impressive guy, and Toronto being a city where Bruce Mau, another great designer, has done a lot of his practice between Toronto and Chicago. But there's a theme which Cameron Sinclair put out a few years ago called Design Like You Give a Damn. And that will be the theme for, I think, for Toronto. So really, it's turning our attention to not just what the problem is, but then what are we going to do about it as ourselves. And then on the 5th design forum, going back to Sydney, where this conversation began, and asking what have we learnt, and how do we go forward from there. That's just I guess a very brief outline of what's ahead. And this is where you come in as well, because this is less for me to say what's going to happen and more for us to determine what the conversation will be about and how it will unfold. And like any conversation, it takes its own life. And I'm really excited about the opportunity and really invite all of you and others to step into this conversation and see what change we can make to improve the delivery of child survival for those most in need. I've got a pint waiting for me. See you later.